All right, have and have not fans. While checking some of the notifications from the videos I posted earlier today, someone asked, "Hey Jeremy, could you please do a video on everything Veronica has done?" And I'm like, there is not enough time in the day to even fathom putting together a list of all the different crimes and scandalous behavior that Veronica has committed on the haves and the have-nots from episode 1 to where we are now in the season. However, I decided, why not do like a top 10 list of the most scandalous Veronica moments. I don't even know what the title of the video yet is. Top 10 Veronica stunts, or top 10 Veronica, or maybe like the Ice Queens or Veronica's iciest moments. I'll come up with a title by the time the video is up, which is pretty clear. But here's how I'm going to do this. Yes, I did rank them from 10 to 1, with 10 being the lowest and 1 being the highest. But that's not to say that any of these 10 acts aren't despicable. And I'm going off my own personal opinion. Like, I'll tell you, hey, number 8 is, and then I'll explain why I put it on the list. Keep in mind, this is Veronica we're talking about. There's going to be plenty of things I'm sure people will feel should have made the list. And by the time I read some of the comments, I'll be like, damn, I forgot about this. Or I should have put this at number 4 instead of number 7. You know what I mean? So these are just my opinions. Could I have found the clips for this stuff? Yeah, but that would have taken too much time. Because literally, it's just scandalous Veronica. So with that being said, before I move any further, if you are new to the channel, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Comment your top 10 Veronica moments in the comment section below. Let me know whether any acts of ridiculousness that didn't make the list that you would put in the list. And I'm dead serious here. I did not put this moment in my list right in front of me because I actually wrote it out and it should have been on there. But the whack-a-dumb-ho should have put it on there, but it's not. So without further ado, number 10, actually starting off pretty low because some people will be like, wait, Jeremy, this is on the list and not whack-a-dumb-ho. The black sedan blackmail, which I do feel is a bit redundant when I say that out loud. What I mean is, this is where we first began to see the true colors of Veronica. Sure, during the early episodes of season 1, we saw her reluctancy to, or right out refusal to even allow Jeffrey to say that he was gay. She would not allow that. And after he came out in the episode No More Hiding, that's when Veronica's true colors began to shine, pretty much cutting him off financially and saying unless he gets himself back together, basically acting like a man in her eyes, he would be cut off. Hence why he was staying with Amanda and Candace for several episodes throughout the back half of season 1. But this black sedan blackmail truly went further than anyone expected, because she was hiding the location of the black sedan from everyone, David, Jim, and Catherine, because, you know, they were trying to do this in order to cover up the Wyatt hit and run situation. But when it came to Veronica, she had her own reasons for doing what she did. So this was really Veronica showing herself in terms of she has no sides except for her own. Not to mention, she was willing to hold a crime that Jeffrey didn't commit over his head in order to get him back in line. So once again, number 10 seems a bit tame, but I do feel like this moment needed to be on the list simply because of the fact that it was really like our first introduction to who Veronica really is. Then we get to number 9. This was the Wyatt assault in jail. If you don't remember this was from, good Lord, 3 or 4 years ago, if my memory is not mistaken here. But this was when Wyatt was in jail. This was after Amanda's funeral, which was not even on screen. When Wyatt was in jail because Jim took him in there, and it was a controlled environment, unbeknownst to Wyatt. And there was a guy named, what was the dude's name? I forgot the original cellmate that Wyatt had that beat him to the point where he was saying that, hang on, what the hell did he say? I forgot. Basically, it was to the point where he said that he didn't hit little Lizzie and whatnot. Norman Hewins said, yeah. So basically, after that guy got stabbed, Toxic was placed in the jail cell instead. And, you know, assaulted Wyatt. I can't really say the R word due to the monetization, but you know where I'm getting with this. And we come to find out that Veronica did it to prove a point in order to get Wyatt in line, since Jim and Catherine weren't able to do so. Basically, Wyatt, this was when the point where he said he was going to rat out the Harringtons and the Criers for covering up the hit and run, but Veronica made it so that wouldn't happen. It's like you're going to undo everything we worked for to keep your ass out of jail. So she did that to teach him a lesson. So having Wyatt assaulted, sorry about that. Having Wyatt assaulted was her plan, and she actually went through with it. So Wyatt reliving what happened to him when he was younger at that Bible camp with those priests, yeah, definitely worthy of the number 9 spot. Then we get to number 8, which is a similar situation. Justin, after he, I believe, didn't he slap Veronica in the parking garage? I don't think it was a punch. It was really a slap to the face. And because of that, she had Justin arrested and then arranged for like a group of guys to gang assault Justin in jail. And that led to him being pretty banged up. What was it, like a lot of internal injuries and whatnot? And pretty much spooked Justin into submission, so to speak, even though in the last couple episodes ago, he said he's not afraid of the Harringtons' empty threats. And then in this upcoming episode, he's asking Veronica for forgiveness, even though it doesn't seem sincere. He must have an ulterior motive, because what other reason would he have to go directly to Veronica unless he has some kind of plan? I honestly couldn't tell you at this very moment, but just seeing Justin getting a taste of what he's probably done to a bunch of guys he's arrested. Not saying I would wish that on anyone, but Justin certainly got a slice of humble pie. We're talking being so afraid that when Veronica even came into the room, he was spooked. So now we move on to number 7. And you're probably thinking that, Jeremy, how in the world is this number 7? This should be up near the top 3, if not number 1. At the end of last season, Show Not Tell, when Veronica came over to David's house with a bunch of those thugs in order to shoot the place, pretty much killing Jeffrey and David if they were successful. And you're like, Jeremy, why is it higher? Well, you can make the argument that, yes, this was certainly a dark moment, not just because Veronica was wearing black and whatnot, but because of the fact that at this point, you could tell Veronica didn't give a damn anymore. She didn't care about Jeffrey's well-being. She didn't care. Freaking motorcycle. She didn't care about David. She just wanted to end this. So if things went right, Jeffrey and David would have been dead, and that would have been the end of that. However, it is this low on the list due to the fact of the sloppiness of the situation. I still will not forgive her leaving that cigarette butt there. I don't know if the FBI, the cops, whoever were there at the house doing cleanup and taking evidence, I don't know if they recovered the cigarette butt. But if they did, then sloppy Veronica, that will link her to the crime. On top of that, they didn't succeed. You had over half a dozen guys there, and they couldn't even shoot Jeffrey and David. And it turns out 2 of them got killed instead. So that's why this is so low on the list. And then we get to number 6, which is the Quincy versus Jeffrey. This is when I believe Quincy was looking for Candace. Jeffrey knew where she was. And basically, Veronica allowed Jeffrey to get beaten up. Basically, got an ex-con to beat up her son. If that ain't dark, I don't know what. I know you're probably thinking, well, Jeremy, she literally had those guys try to kill David and Jeffrey, but I think this is just like next level Jeffrey really finding. I feel like if you look back at those earlier episodes, the earlier seasons, you can just see the surprise in Jeffrey's face whenever he realized how dark his mother was in regards to her demand of getting what she wanted and him not being a homosexual, and for her to go to those extreme lengths, that's just, man, I can't even. I mean, that was just a painful thing to see. Jeffrey got a couple of hits in, but then Quincy just took it to him, and that was just crazy. So, yeah, Quincy being let loose on Jeffrey at Veronica's demand, because she did say that he won't hurt you if you give up Candace, and that's why I kind of hated Candace in those seasons, because Jeffrey was like, just like his father, as Jennifer said, loyal to a fault. It's like he would do what he could to protect Candace, but Candace wouldn't do the same for him. and that kind of sucks. So then we get to number 5, the affair with Benny. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not too bad, Jeremy. Well, think of it this way, and this would be its own category, but I'm not going to put it on this list because it encompasses so much. What I'm saying is, Veronica's paranoia and pretty much thinking everyone's out to get her and that kind of mentality. But basically, when I'm talking about the affair with Benny, it's because she was under the extreme impression that Maggie and David were having an affair after she saw them walk out of his hotel room at the Sedan Hotel. But they were literally just talking. And after all the accusations made against David, he didn't even have an affair. When David finally slept with Maggie, Veronica and Benny had done it so many times up to that point. And it's just insane to even think about. So she literally got with Benny due to the fact that she assumed David was having an affair, which led to Hannah walking in on the two, and then David and Benny having words and then fighting as the seasons progressed. It was just insane because David didn't give a damn about Veronica. It was just the fact that Benny had threatened Jeffrey and stuff like that. It was just weird. So basically that affair, which one of the most shocking moments in the haves and the have-nots, believe it or not, I'll never forget when Veronica got Benny out of jail and he was driving because she had been drinking. And it was just when she kissed him for the first time and then she went down on him like, what the hell is this? So yeah, Benny and Veronica. Number 4. Honestly, this should be in the top 3, but it really is difficult. But number 4, the Melissa story. Basically buying a girl, if you will. I hate to use the slavery terms when it came to buying human beings, but arranging for your homosexual son to impregnate a black girl of your choosing in order to continue the Harrington family line. That's a new level of low. Not to mention, I believe that Melissa's father, he had cancer or some illness, and basically because of that, the family business was failing, and Veronica swooped in order to save that family from going bankrupt. And I guess you could say the exchange was, okay, I'll help you out financially, only if my daughter can get knocked up by my son. And it's just, yeah, so many things twisted with this story. I mean, my God. Poor Melissa. But yeah, basically going through such extreme lengths in order to continue the family name and get engaged and everything like that. So Veronica truly was showing her levels of insanity when Melissa came into the picture. So Melissa, we found out, did this for the sake of her family, but at the same time sacrificed her own livelihood. So the entire plot involving Melissa, yeah. Now we get to the top 3. And these are all deadly, except for number 1, because it could have been deadly, but it wasn't. Number 3, arranging for Maggie Day to be shot. And yes, I remember when I first predicted this and people thought I was nuts. Jim said that he hired someone to shoot Veronica, but he called it off. Then we come to find out that Veronica actually put a hit on herself and arranged for it to happen so Maggie Day would get shot. She invited Maggie over to the house. This was after she had gotten out of jail, and she had her house camera, so she pulled up in front of her house, pulled out her tablet, saw the shooter in position, even though God knows he had been there for 2 days. And then basically, as soon as Maggie got over there, because I believe the phone call was, Maggie, you win, you get David, but come over to my house so we can talk. There are some things about David that you should know. And then when when Maggie had gotten there, I believe the police were there for some reason. I think that Veronica had called the police saying, hey, in my neighborhood, I saw this shady person just walking around. I need you to kind of stop and check it out. So Veronica got home and then was talking to the police officer. Maggie had pulled up, and then she's like, oh, don't worry, Maggie, go in the house. I'll be there in a minute. And then as soon as Maggie opened the door, that's when she got shot multiple times. If memory serves, Veronica went to the door to unlock it, knowing the guy was in there. She unlocked the door, but then walked away to talk to the police officer. And then Maggie showed up, and, that's when she got killed. And basically she did all this for the sake of, nobody gets my David. So yeah, arranging Maggie Day's death. My goodness. Number 2, we get to another of David's horrors dying. Erica's death. We know that we have Veronica arranging for the car bombing, and that took out Erica, and was planned to take out David, but it didn't. It just kind of put him out of commission for a couple of episodes. I say a couple because he was in the hospital for a couple, then he got the burn suit, and then he decided he wanted to go home. So yeah, this was crazy. I mean, it was predicted way back in that one episode, because if you look up the YouTube clip, just look up Hurricane Veronica. When she threatened Erica, she said, "It's a shame you have such a pretty face. It will be a shame for you to lose it." And then we have Erica turned into that burnt corpse. And it's like, Veronica makes good on her threats. Not to mention, to this day, it is 2020. And I believe that episode aired in 2018, I think. To actually see that Tyler Perry showed us the corpse is still shocking to me. So number 2 was Erica's death and putting David out of commission for a while. And then we get to the number 1, which to me is hands down is still the most WTF moments for Veronica. Burning down the Harrington mansion. Not only burning it, but taking a jug of gas, pouring it around the bed where David was sleeping. I believe she had lit up a cigarette and then threw down the match or the lighter, walked outside, sat on the stoop, and just smoked her cigarette as the house burned. I don't know what else to say. That right there. I mean, it even reminded me when Catherine set her own house on fire. I think that Veronica was the one that had the gasoline poured out everywhere. And it's like, girl, Veronica, what are you doing, girl? You know I love a good house fire or a house burning. And then, but she did give Catherine the match and everything. Hey, you throw the match and set it on fire. But man, this scene was like next level Harrington madness. So yeah, guys, those are my top 10 Veronica just crazy moments. And you let me know what you think. What moments did you think didn't make the cut that should have? Like I said before, this was a spur of the moment video where I felt like it was appropriate to kind of think, okay, what moments off the top of my head should make the list? And if there's anything else, please let me know in the comments. So, my social media, make sure you follow me. Links to my social media in the description box below. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know if there are any other kind of countdown videos like this you would like me to cover on the channel.